Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video we're going to have a Retribution Paladin 8 mask Stormwind run in Horrific Visions, the most horrific vision of Stormwind. We're going to activate all 8 masks. We have our tributes fully done, and yeah, we're going to go in there. Do not use the Hourglass. I would highly recommend against that if you're doing an 8 mask run. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to take our time. This is now the 3rd week. You can have all the talents unlocked. So what talents do I have for the Horrific Visions? All of them. We're going to have all of them unlocked, and we are just going to take our time because the biggest problem we're going to have in here is potentially dying. Okay? Time, it's not going to be really... Sanity and time are not going to be our issues. It's going to be dying from mechanics, dying from really strong things. Notably, Hogger appears to be much stronger than Gammon was in Orgrimmar. And so when he's going to spawn is at the top of the screen. It says 18 enemies until spawn or whatever. That's when Hogger is going to spawn, and he is going to hit really hard. And he's actually kind of my biggest fear in here of dying is probably the Hogger. So we're going to just do one pull at a time. We have 13 mobs until Hogger spawns. If you want to do a big pull, you're like, well, I want to do a big pull. I don't care about Hogger. What I do is, for a big pull, is I pull all of this at the start, including these little things, and then these 2 Rift Walkers, and I tuck them behind the corner. I'll show you where I tuck them. Purple is our potion. I'll put this in the description if you need it. And so that means we want to drink black potions for more sanity. So we'll try to get an eye out if there's any black ones around. So what I would normally do is I would pull all of this with bubble. I'd be using bubble for this to initiate this pull. And I would pull it all up here, and then I would use this kind of corner here. And then once these guys started like teleporting on me and stuff, I would just go ahead and bubble. And then just kill everything. The casters will be lagging behind. You don't want them to sit and cast at you, so once you get everything all stacked up, you can go ahead and like go back here about where I'm at now and kill the casters. Was it purple, so black is good? Okay. So we can drink this black one just to kind of show you. Your sanity is low. We're already not going to really have trouble with sanity. We're going to have Hogger spawn next here. And honestly, we kind of want our cooldowns up for Hogger if we can. He hits really hard. And he has an enrage. And Ret Paladins don't have any way to remove the enrage. So, yeah, it's a... Plus he's getting buffed by enemies dying and stuff. Like, he can be rough. Like, I killed him really fast there, but that's because I had cooldowns out. Hogger's a tough foe here. We could go into this room. So, I didn't focus on the buffs very much in Orgrimmar because we were a little bit more pressed for time last week than this week. Not that pressed for time, but a little bit. So, like, if you want to come in here and get this buff, you can get the buff. You step on, like, the bear rug or whatever. And then after you kill the bear, more stuff will come out. And you kill everything. After everything's done coming to life, you get a nice little buff from this. It's kind of an annoying little event. There's another buff in here. Let me try to ping it for you without going all the way over there. Another buff can spawn in here. It'll be one of the 2. But you can grab these, especially since, again, we're not worried about time. We're worried about survival. Take a left. Tumors can be skipped for time reasons if you need to. And then I normally Wake of Ashes this group. By no means do you need to, it's just fast. There's a Hogger spawn again. And he's enraged now, so, and if he would keep hitting me there, he hits very hard. Hogger is no joke. He is more of someone for... I don't know if you can slow him or root him. If you can, then he's definitely more for range. But if you can't, then he's just bad for everybody. Did not have those kind of issues. Gammon did a stun, but there's a lot of things that can mitigate a stun. Make sure we click our bombs. So in here we have Entomophobia and Dark Delusions. Dark Delusion is going to be a copy of you that like slowly walks at you. And you don't let it touch you, basically. And then the bugs, you just have to jump. There's a buff in here. I recommend skipping this buff unless you know exactly how to do it. It's that one's a little bit annoying, especially with the mask on where you have the pools dropping behind you. Can be a little much, so you don't need to do it. So unless you kind of are good at it or whatever, wouldn't worry about it. Now normally I would pull this room basically all together. The stuff behind the elite, all the stuff to the left here, I would pull this all together and bubble, and sometimes not even bubble. The reason I'm not going to is frankly because of Hogger. He scares me. He's like one of the only things in here scares me. You can see my health just chunking. Jumping. Oops, I stepped in my own stuff there. Yeah, Hogger is scary. So when you see him about to spawn, like I said, make sure you're going to have cooldowns running. Or a plan to take care of him in some way. Alright, get the bike down. Kill this guy. I think you can skip the bike if you are sneaky enough. But I always end up pulling it. I already did that bomb. At the bombs. Again, if we needed a potion, it would be a black potion. That's when I kind of like turn my camera angle fully up, is I'm kind of just like looking around the corners for potions and stuff. But we don't really need it. We're kind of just chilling at max sanity. Unless we mess up and step in a bunch of stuff, we'll probably be max sanity the entire time. It's only dying that worries us. And Hogger. 5 until Hogger spawns. So Hogger's going to spawn. There's a black there. Hogger's going to spawn in the middle of this pack here. So we'll go ahead and pull it, because I don't want to just sit here forever while I'm doing a video. But Hogger's going to spawn here and it's going to get scary. Don't really have cooldowns ready. And there's Hogger. And we're going to use cooldowns to kill Hogger. Cooldowns are still running. That's why we just charge into the next group. These guys are scary though. These heart piercers, especially when they start to get the enrage stacks on them from killing other enemies. It's from one of the masks. Plant this bomb. We got one more bomb. Now, let's say, you know, you killed stuff in a slightly different order than me, whatever. And right now you have to press this thing and it's going to cause like some RP. Well, let's say you need to get some sanity because your sanity is low. You didn't want to use one of your orbs here, which we haven't even talked about yet. If your count was like 2 or 3, right, you could go over here and pull these mobs and spawn Hogger, kill Hogger, get 150 more sanity, and then move on to the boss. So that's like an option of something you could do there. We're going to slow play so we can use all of our cooldowns here. He's going to do another ordinance, so we dodge out of this, we pull him out. We got that thing following us, which isn't great. He's going to do another breath, and I'm going to need to get to the other side of him here. Oops. Not in a great position here. But that's okay. I'll drop that in the corner. Again, we're kind of just slow playing it. Frontal. Move to the side. Finish him off. Still full sanity. Move on to the next room. We still got 17 kills until our nemesis spawns. This room's really scary, especially with the Hogger, because with the Gammon, it was like, okay, if I get stunned, I can bop or something like that. With Hogger, he's just doing a ton of damage, and that's what these things do. They do tons of damage, and some of them increase the time between your attacks. And so this room can be rough. There's a lot of times where I kind of like pre-bop coming in here, because these guys are going to shadow attack me, these hunters. And unfortunately, even though it's a poison, I don't think you can remove it. I'll test it again, but I believe I tried in the first week to remove it. Alright, so what we saw there was the nemesis or the split personality around me. And when that happens, you do not want to run into it or else it dazes you. So you have to like dodge stuff while you also can barely move. The other effect in here is Leaden Foot. That slows you while you're in combat until you can barely move at all. But Blessing of Freedom does work on it. So good job, Blessing of Freedom. We're going to pop cooldowns. We're going to get out of that. Oh, we took some damage there, unfortunately. So now we see my sanity actually drops for the first time. Because we got a little bit greedy there. Red potion. So now we could actually use a potion technically. But we are going to get a Hogger spawn in 7 more kills. So maybe not. Okay. 1 more kill for Hogger. Green, green. Purple. So Hogger's going to spawn here. I'm going to wait a little bit for cooldowns because I am scared of Hogger. Alright, we're going to pop that. We're going to pop this. He does Maddening Call as well. I don't even want to know what that does, so here comes his Enrage. He's a rough guy to deal with. We go into the next group. Why go into that group quickly? Well, frankly, because we had a Hammer of Light ready. We still had some damage rolling. Just go in, make the pack not take very long, basically. See how I can, if you get lucky, especially with some crits, I basically one-shot a bunch of those guys, and then all of a sudden that pack was easy. Got these hunters. Yeah, Cleanse does not work on that for some reason. So a lot of times these hunters will pull with that other pack. They didn't that time. So I just walked in until they pulled. They're cloaked or whatever. So after this maddening, after this split personality, we'll go pull this guy. This guy has a dispel, and then he'll also do like a tentacle on the ground, and I just like kite out of it, I guess. So I got Blade on me. Now he's gonna do this tentacle thing if I didn't kill him. And so even though we messed up a mechanic earlier, lost a bunch of sanity, we're still at full sanity. We haven't had to use anything. There's some other Night Hunters here. See if I can pull them with a pull them with a little cheeky Divine Storm there. Alright, so now we're gonna come up here. This pull again, not one to be taken lightly. Most of these aren't. Blinding Light I use sometimes here. We got Hogger again. He has 4 stacks of the Enrage, and that's before he does an actual Enrage. Maddening Call, we're gonna interrupt that. Again, I'm like overstate how much damage this guy does. It's actually crazy. Now for Shaw, he's luckily a very easy boss. Basically, he just has these eyes that are kind of like the ghosts in Super Mario. Just don't look at them. Sometimes the positioning is a little bit hard. Sometimes it's easier said than done. And then, of course, when you're slowed, you can also use your... Oops, he got on the other side of me. So I need to move myself. I move to get out of the frontal thing. It's not really a frontal, but he like slowly comes at you from the shadows. So right now, okay, that was actually bad, but then they both the eyes teleported behind me, which is very good. Shaw does a little bit of damage, but nothing scary. So here comes Shaw. What I want to do is I want to get myself between the eyes and him. Hopefully finish him off here. And there we go. Head back to the beginning. We got 2 wings left, an easy wing and a hard wing, and then the final boss will probably be a bit challenging as well. So got 20 before Hogger spawns. So we're not in danger of that yet. I'll show you what I normally do in this next room, but then I'm going to show you what I'm not going to do that this time. Hogger's another story. I don't know if I don't think he should get nerfed personally, but it definitely makes you take the run a little bit differently. For me at least, like he's hitting me really hard. I've really good gear. We come into this room. Now what I normally would do, since I almost always have bubble up here, is I pull this stuff to my right, everything in the middle to the next elite. That's mostly to kind of keep my sanity up, but I don't need to worry about that anyways. So we're gonna come do this pull with the appendage and the two guys here. We got Hogger in 10 kills. All right, so he probably won't spawn here. Get out of that. All right, so we do want bubble though for this boss. So that's why I kind of combine it all into one pull, right? I'm just kind of like, normally I would be doing this least amount of pulls possible. If I'm going to use bubble anyways, then why not pull a bunch of stuff? So we basically aren't going to have enough interrupts to do this. And that's why we would use bubble there. So agonizing torment, I'm going to interrupt it. Now it's going to do it again, and I'm going to bubble it. So there we go, bubble. And now I have until the bubble's over at least to not worry about that. And my interrupt should come back up though, even if I had to. Then Hogger's going to spawn. I have cooldowns still running. This is completely unnecessary when it comes to sanity because I just got full sanity. This Hogger spawn won't be too bad because I had cooldowns running. And then what I would do here then, so if I'm in this position where I'm pulling a little bit safer, I'm going to pull this group back. To try not to do bigger pulls than what I want to do. Don't have bubble anymore. I'm always, you know, if my health gets below half, whatever, just throw a little wog on yourself. Word of glory yourself up a little bit. Alright. Got one more pull before boss. Now this boss is actually really nice to have bubble for, and honestly, if you want to just tank the sanity loss on that previous elite, you can do that as long as you're like full sanity going into it. Because this boss gets really cheesed if you can just bubble it. It's very similar to the Hopelessness cast in the Vision of Ogremar, to where if you just bubble it, then you don't have to worry about it. You can just stand there and DPS. Same thing with the chains that this one's going to do. So, bubbling that is really, really nice. We'll see that cast here. Chains of Servitude. And see, I can't do anything here. But if I was bubbled, I could actually just sit and fight, which is very cool. I'm just going to play off, dodge out. Try not to walk into that like I did. Alright, sanity up. Now we need to unlock all these cages. The order, I'll do it the order that I do it in. Come up here, grab this one. A lot of stuff's already dead. We'll have Hogger spawning during the next one, so we're gonna keep aware of that. Unlock this cage. Now we're gonna come up here. Now this pack's still gonna be up here because we didn't do that big pull. I'm gonna try to hold my cooldowns until a couple of them die, so that way I have them for Hogger. Alright, so we can get this cage. Now if I didn't have Hogger there, I would just stay there and do this cage first, but that's okay. Now we have to have one more cage here. And then we'll go back into, I don't know if it's the hardest room, but it's the probably the most annoying room last here. Get the cage. Again, I think it was black potions give me sanity, but don't really need them. We're gonna have another Hogger and nine kills here. We're gonna have 3 on the bridge to kill. And this one, if you're gonna use sanity orbs, do it in here. Take this place slowly. There's constant stuff spawning. You got leaden foot on you. All of that. So just take it slow. Oh, we got a big old Hogger there. I don't know what this call does, but I'm gonna LOS it. Kill Hogger. It's always decent to kite back, especially if at the start of this room, because you get to leave these terrible affixes back to the good affixes. And these things are going to keep spawning, and it's going to keep spawning Hoggers too. That's the real problem. We're going to try to get a little bit ahead of it. It's going to be hard. And we have another Hogger already. But what we do have here is we have infinite sanity, right? We have literally infinite sanity because of that. We're gonna make our way up here. Let's let this get out of our way. This is actually like a nice little calm area you can stand if you don't want those things spawning on you constantly. We got 9 kills to a Hogger. Six kills to a Hogger. This room's going to be especially hard. Bubble is probably going to be used on the boss thing here. I like to normally pull these guys on the side first. Before the boss thing. We're just watching our feet here because there's a lot of dodging. We ended up not... If Wake of Ashes was ready already, I would have used it here, but it wasn't, so... We have 4 kills on Hogger, so we'll probably be able to kill the boss without it. So we're going to pull him, and if we have to bubble, we'll use bubble on this boss. Basically, if things get out of hand, you just bubble it. Oh, we just lost a bunch of sanity. That's kind of already getting out of hand. A lot of good procs as far as DPS goes. So I had my tier set proc, and everything was rolling and made that a lot easier. So now we're going to go through this, try not to get stuck on things. We have Hogger spawning very soon. We're going to come through here. And we're going to do this pull. We got Hogger out, so we're going to try to be careful. Cooldown's running. And again, the good thing is it's basically infinite sanity, but you have to be prepared to deal with them every time. You know, you don't want him to come out in a fairly difficult pull and you have no cooldowns up and he enrages and just smacking you. You know, you're doing this as a rat paladin. That's going to be rough. Let's go over here and do this pull. We're very slowed from the leaden foot, so we're going to try to like creep our way over here. Avoid that psychic scream. There's the corruption. That's keeping us in combat and keeping our leaden foot on. So we went through the one door. Now we're going to go through this other door over here. Go through this door. This route does have a little bit of backtracking. It's not my normal route. This is literally just a route to try to spawn less Hoggers, like to, you know, try to deal with less of those spawning little guys. So now we're going to come up here and kill this guy. Well, let's get this guy off of us first. Leaden Foot is definitely annoying in general in here. He's going to cast 2 Shadow Bolts before we're going to need to run out and bait. So we need to run out and bait. Okay, then get out of that. Now we can come back in. He's going to cast these little guys. We got to get out of their death as well. And now he's dead. Now if not, he was about to cast another Rain of Fire, and I was going to go bait that out as well. So we're going to come back the way we came. Go through this house. Now we're going to go fight Umbrich. Bubble's good for Umbrich. Blessing of Freedom's great for Umbrich. Let's try not to use any of our movement speed yet, because movement speed is good for Umbrich. You're probably going to take sanity loss on this one, unless you play it really perfectly and also get like good damage procs and stuff. Alright. Head up here. This is always a good time to use one of your orbs if you need to. We're basically at full, so there's really no need to. But normally, I would, if I was low, I would use my Sanity Restoration Orb, like right here. I mean, we have 3 of them. Let's just use it. So I would use like right here, get full Sanity before I go in, fight him. He's going to teleport to the right, then teleport to the left. He's going to do a Polymorph, and he's going to do a Missile that needs to be interrupted. The problem is we don't have enough interrupts to do all that. So, yeah. That's just something you kind of have to deal with. You have to have Sanity. So we're going to interrupt those missiles. He's going to teleport away. I'm going to Blessing of Freedom to just move over here. Now the problem is he's going to do a Polymorph. And so we're going to basically have to bubble this. So we'll just bubble it. If you don't have bubble, that's another reason. Before this fight, that's another reason to just use your Sanity Orb before. Let it come up. Let your Sanity tick down. Use your thing for your bubble to come up. Then over here, we're going to have Interrupt ready again. We're going to take our time. We're going to let everything come back up. We don't care. I'm a Blessing of Freedom just because I don't like moving slow, but it doesn't really matter. Let's let everything come up. We already got Wake of Ashes. Let's let this thing hit as well. Might as well. Move, dodge that. Let it despawn. Oops. So now he's going to missile us, and we're just going to have to take it. Whatever he gets off here. It's very rough. Now, if you really want to, what you could do there, right, is you're not going to really have time to let your bubble come back up, right? I mean, if you have enough orbs, you might be able to do that. But what you could do is you could let, like, your Divine Toll and Final Reckoning and everything come off cooldown and put that into him there for that final kill. The problem with letting the Polymorph go off is then you're just stuck there polymorphed and then he missiles you anyways. So you can either wait to the last second to interrupt the Polymorph so you can keep damaging while he's missiling you, or you can get sheeped and then take the missiles anyways. That's kind of what I've felt with dealing with. Now, because we took that big sanity damage there, we are going to use another orb. So this is the first orb we've really needed to use, and we are going to use it. And so we have Alleria, so she's going to have stuff we have to bait away. She has the Eye of Chaos, so we need to keep that to our backs. We don't have to worry about Hogger spawning in this. We also don't have Bubble up yet. We have time. We could wait for Bubble. We still have another whole orb. We could wait. But we'll go ahead and pull her and kind of show you what to do here. So again, we want the Eye of Chaos to be at our backs. Okay, she's going to cast this. I'm going to try to bait it over here. The problem is the gaze or whatever is going to be hitting me. So there's that. So got to bait that away. Now Polymorph, I'm going to try to LOS that. Okay, LOS does not work. I thought it did. So this is going to be sketchy here. Get out of that. Void Eruption. We got the Dark Gaze. We might have to use our Sanity Orb, but that's okay. We LOS to get her to come back over here. Another. Try to bait that. And she's going to Polymorph again. Alright, so she's going to cast Eruption here. So the Polymorph needs to be interrupted. 100%. We're going to go ahead and do this just to get our sanity back up a little bit. Yeah, this is going to be a really sketchy kill if I finish this off. Void Eruption. This is definitely the one that you want to LOS. Oh, okay, we got that. Polymorph. We're just going to go ahead and pop our bubble and try to finish this off because we're almost out of sanity here. Nope. Oh yeah, we have the talent. Never mind. I thought this was over. We come back to life with full sanity. So this is the worst Alleria I've ever done in my life. Honestly, I might redo this just and put the different Alleria in this. So you have to interrupt Tainted Polymorph, and then you're trying to bait things around. But the other truth is, this is just a hard boss to do. It's going to be the hardest boss. You're going to want your bubble going into it, which is hard because you just use your bubble on Umbrich most likely. So I'm going to debate going back through and doing that a little bit cleaner for you guys. I forgot about the death thing. You can take total advantage of that, right? So when you have all the talents, when you come back to life, you're going to get your sanity back or whatever. So you can just take advantage of that and tunnel boss a little bit more than what I was doing there. But the big thing is, the reason why I got so far behind is just make sure you interrupt the polymorph so you don't get polymorphed into another mechanic. So you got to interrupt that. And I will debate on on honestly swapping this out for a better run, so we'll see on that. But if not, that's it for this one, guys. As always, do ask you to please subscribe to the channel. If you're already a subscriber, check out the Patreon, join the Discord, and other than that, everybody have a good one.